How's it going, ladies and Bruce? On Bobby Sixkilla, and welcome back to Sound of Drop. We lost our Marty, if it is Marty, but now we have to choose who we're going to save. It obviously doesn't seem to be a choice that matters, because it's blue, and the blue ones never seem to make any difference. Although they may at the end, who knows. I have to save Himeno. I mean, come on. That's right, I will save Himeno. I won't just say that she can probably be saved. Within this aquarium, I have to be determined. That girl had steeled herself, because she had no doubts. She seemed strong. I'll move on. Saying this, I reach for the door of the staff room. That was definitely the first time we switched seats in 7th grade. Okay, who will I sit next to? Nakabe-san, was it? It's Nakanobe. When I first entered junior high, I didn't really make an effort to talk to any of my classmates, so I had no friends. Even now, I have anxiety about talking to people I don't know. But it pales in comparison to the way I was a year before last. During free time, I would read books in the corner of the classroom. During lunchtime, I would slowly eat my lunch alone. That was how it was every day. I knew how to keep myself occupied. Ah, sorry, by the way, Nakanobe-san, do you have low blood pressure? No, not really. Oh, well, I'm your neighbour now. Let's get to know each other. Himeno was the last one in the row closest to the window, and I was next to her. Himeno ended up with no one else to talk to. So she did all she could to talk to me, or at least, that's how I saw it. Ah, Mayu, your lunch is ground steak with cheese inside? I just love it. Let me have a little... my side dish. Okay, I'll give you the pork from my yakisoba bread. Mayu? No, thanks. Jeez, quit being so picky, Mayu. Mayu? Yeah, Mayu. You're Mayumi-chan, right? So I thought I should call you Mayu. You remembered my name. This exchange took place 2 days after our seats changed. I still hadn't opened my heart to Himeno. Undaunted by my curt manner, Himeno would do things like reach for my boxed lunch. Up to that point, I never told him my first name, but Himeno called me Mayu. After that day, something changed. I would initiate conversations with Himeno, and even after that semester, and the next seat change, Himeno would bring her lunch over and sit and eat with me at my desk. Before I realized it, Himeno and I had become friends. The first time Himeno and I ever argued was in the summer. Should we see a documentary or a horror movie? It was a trivial matter, but it was important to us. After that, Himeno and I fought numerous times, but we made up just as many. Every time it rains, the ground hardens. Himeno? I muttered to myself. Even with today's argument, we made up. There was nothing else more important than Tamagawa Himeno, my one and only best friend. My best friend. Yeah, that's right. No matter what, I will protect her. Damn right. I like this little intermission thing it does. I like it. Makes you think of an anime, the ad section in the middle, you know. After I leave the staff room and walk for a bit, the entrance gate appears in my line of sight. I exit into a different place from the staff passageway I entered with Yoshi-san. This aquarium has more back passages than I thought. Thinking it over, I almost walked the entire aquarium. The only places I haven't visited are places for authorised personnel only, and the closed-off deep-sea fish booth. Diagonally across from the area is apparently an authorised personnel only space, the director's office, reachable by going behind the Fish of the World booth. There's a map for authorised personnel to use hanging on the door of the staff room. If I head out from the tunnel tank, I can make something of a shortcut, but I'm still afraid of the flying cutlass fish. Going through the door will probably cause the state of things to change, but I can't handle things getting as bad as the tank breaking or something like that again. If that's the case, I'll have to go by the jellyfish booth. In that room, even if the glass is broken, I know I can deal with it. If I walk carefully, I won't fall. I can't just loaf around here. Closing up the map and starting to walk, the gate to Manten Aquarium appears in my line of sight. I wonder if I can get out this way. The question born from within me has a simple quick solution. The girl said that this aquarium was isolated in a different dimension, but she'd also said that she'd not tested that idea. I think I should try tossing something in. So I roll a bucket that had been knocked over. The bucket passes through the gate, and at the very centre of the gate, it disappears. It vanished. From here I can see the Manten East building elevator. There might be some value in using my own body to test it. I mean, we know what happens if you do that. You'll just go to a new place. Shit, alright. I prepare myself, then push the door to the automatic turnstiles with my hand. I mean, I want to see what happens, even if it does get me killed again. What? For some time, my consciousness feels like it has gotten hazy. When my head clears, I can hear the sound of chatter. Could I be... What's wrong? This is Manten Aquarium, isn't it? Yes, that's right. You can purchase tickets over there. Noticing that I look disoriented, the woman speaks to me in a kind voice. Her uniform is the same, but her manner is quite different from Saginuma-san's. It's kind. Could it be... I have no room for any doubts. Numerous people are entering and exiting through the gate. I can't hear any strange screams either. I was able to get back? But I have no time for relief. There are some problems that remain unsolved. I'd like a return ticket, please. I hold out my ticket and complete the re-entry procedure. I pass through the gate and find only customers, having their fill of the aquarium. The Fish of Tokyo Bay booth is the same as it was before. I'm able to pass through the tunnel tank normally. There is no danger of anything like flying cutlass fish. In the Fish of the World booth, there are tons of brightly coloured fish. There are no mummified dead bodies or fragments of destruction. The jellyfish booth is as pretty as ever, however with no phenomenon taking place. This only causes my uneasiness to grow. I can't get back. The fact that I came back, but now can't return is quite a contradiction. But that's the way it is after all. I want to return to that Manten Aquarium that is full of phenomena, a different dimension, side-by-side worlds, parallel worlds, whatever. What they really are is irrelevant. I just need to return to Himeno's side. What do I do? I run through the entire aquarium once, even so, nothing happens. That Manten Aquarium with the heavy atmosphere has gone away somewhere. Big sister? Marty? I'm aware that it's an auditory hallucination. I just wish that she could hear me. Is that the end? After that I search for Himeno until the building closes. But with a staff member hanging around me and urging me to go home, I'm finally forced out. Slumping my shoulders, I tell the police what happened. 5 days ago, Himeno's parents filed a missing persons report. Despite my frantic feelings, no news comes about Himeno. A clownfish. On my end, I haven't had any major accidents. In regards to myself, even outside the aquarium, I've begun to see fish. I trip over things that aren't there. I start to feel like I'm going to drown. Mum and everyone else are worried about me. For the past 3 days, it's been getting hard to breathe. It's hard to breathe. Finally, 1 week later, I'm in a bed. Yes, I've been admitted to a hospital near Manten. While the cause is unknown, my lungs seem to be failing. Now I can't breathe without a machine to assist me. I wonder how long I'll be hospitalized. As much as I love reading, I've grown tired of even that. From the hospital window, I can see the top of Manten East building. Himeno. Even though I want to speak her name, my voice won't come out. My trachea is just too weak for it. If I can, I want to eat ice cream once more. My beloved cookies and cream with my beloved Himeno. Yep. The future of recklessness. I had a feeling that was going to get us killed. Although I was starting to doubt it because it was starting to go on for quite a while. But there you go. Alright, let's jump back and not use the, portal to Narnia. No, I should stop. The tests haven't gone well. It isn't still isn't a guarantee that I can get back to Manten Aquarium where phenomena are happening. Even if I succeed, I'll be separated from Himeno. But I'll definitely get home. I mutter to myself. It's strange since it's as if I'm talking to the entrance gate, but it's a declaration of my resolve. As I move forward, I spot the souvenir shop. It makes sense as I'm going back the way I came, but it gives me mixed feelings. Huh? It is there that I witness an unexpected sight. The girl from earlier is standing in front of the souvenir shop, apparently lost in thought. You. So the coordinates the doorway led to has to be fixed by someone, otherwise there'll be no way you could have come across me being attacked by the orca in the machine room. I don't really get what the girl who's reassuring herself, is saying. So I changed the subject. What's wrong? Did something happen at the souvenir shop? Just now it looked like someone went inside. Someone? I don't know. It was just as they went in, but thanks to whoever it was, the coordinates are fixed on a safe place. It could have been Marty. Your missing little sister, right? I'm sorry, but no. It was definitely an adult. I glance over at the entrance to the souvenir shop. Even as I peer through the semi-transparent wall, there are no human shadows. Still, if the person she saw walking through the door and moved to different coordinates, it wouldn't be strange for there to be no one in there. The girl said it was an adult. Could it have been Hiyoshi-san? Hiyoshi? Who's that? Someone who saved me when I was caught up in the dangers of Manten Aquarium. He went crazy in the staff passageway and I moved ahead on my own. After I explain as simply as possible what happened back then, the girl just nods and says, Well, he might have regained his sanity and found an exit. Or he might have been wandering around. Still crazy. Whichever it is, I think it's worth checking out. Hiyoshi-san seemed like he knew things about Manten Aquarium. Oh, why don't you go? I'll be waiting here. Huh? Aren't you coming with me? Got all the way to my throat before I gulped it back down. Either way, if he's not here, well, he might not be able to go through the door and return to this safe place. Right, I don't know this Hiyoshi-san's face, so it's better for you to go. Come back in 5 minutes. If you don't, you'll leave me? Of course, the two of us both dying or getting hurt would just be stupid. Sure, got it. Oh, you're so sincere. I don't think you're mistaken in what you said. Well, I'll wait for you without worry. Okay. Quietly, I open the door to the souvenir shop. The door closes on its own. Not that I'd ever tried to leave it open. Thinking back on it, no matter what room I entered, the door always shut on its own. The lights aren't on, but I can still see where I'm going by the light shining through the semi-transparent wall. The only thing I can't see is the girl. The scenery visible from this room seems to reflect the time distortion affecting this room as well. The fact that I've become this used to these strange phenomena is a little weird, even to me. The souvenir shop hasn't changed that much from how I remember it. Numerous shelves are arranged so that the purpose of each is visible. There are some for confectionery, stationery and stuffed animals. The keychains and cell phone straps are in a place that stands out. Since I can't find any calendars or magazines, I don't know how many years ago, or from now, this is. Inside the glass balls on the shelves are specimens of shrimp and jellyfish. Their price is high. Maybe this is the present. As one might expect, there's no sign of a shopkeeper. I walk the perimeter of the store in a semicircle. I study the room carefully but find nothing. There are so many things that catch my interest, but I can't seem to get interested in picking them up and looking them over closely. That crystal-like necklace, the seal stuffed animal. Right now, I have no interest in orca or jellyfish merchandise. Now I know how a dog being made to wait for a treat feels. I should check over here as well. I go behind the cash register counter, where I normally wouldn't be allowed to look. This is the staff's... it's what you call a back room. There are boxes full of products, a safe, and even employee uniforms. It looks similar to the staff room where the girl and I saw the diary. Only this room is more narrow. Inside the back room I find a door. Since this place for bringing in merchandise, there's a place for bringing in merchandise, it makes sense that there would be a passageway connecting it to somewhere else. I reach out to see for myself, but it's locked. No good, huh? As I turn back, thinking that this has been fruitless, I find something. A lanyard with an ID card. It's been thrown on the ground, so I pick it up and take a closer look. I strain my eyes in the darkness. It bears the name Hiroshi Kenji. It's Hiyoshi-san's. This is Hiyoshi-san's. It's the same as the employee ID card that Hiyoshi-san had before we entered Manten Aquarium. There's no picture on it, so it's just words, but I remember it. The card is spotless. Unexpectedly, he's showing some proprietary. So Hiyoshi-san has been here. Does that mean the one the girl saw was him? Could it be that he headed for somewhere else from this room? But he was able to lock the door? When I entered the souvenir shop, he was already on his way out, and I only came after he had locked the door. I just missed him. I don't think there's anything else important here. I'll go back and tell the girl. I say that just as I realize it's been almost 5 minutes. I'm so glad this is a safe place. As if in reaction to the fact that I'm leaving, the sound of a dull thud echoes. Yeah. I let out a small scream. The sound is that of something falling. Even in the gloom, I can make out the outline of what fell. What? It's just a frog. Oh, what? There shouldn't be frogs in the souvenir shop. The proof of its identity is the shiny exterior that doesn't belong to an ornament or a toy. It's a large toad. I think it's the appropriately named giant toad. The reason I know about it is because a TV show was talking about it recently. The story is about how in Australia the toad had been imported for pest control, but before they realised it, its population had increased and was disrupting the ecosystem. Characteristic of this species is a gland on the back of its head that looks like a wart, from which it seems they can eject venom. This venom was cited as the cause for alligators and other native species being killed. That's right, poison. Oh, bad luck, I think as I clench my fist. But it's only one. Also, their toxin's not deadly, if it's like a cane toad. Not to humans, anyway. I mean, it'd make you sick if you ate one. I put a little more space than necessary between us in order to avoid the giant toad. That way, even if there's another lurking nearby, I should be okay. The shell's become a wall for me. Even though frogs have the ability to jump, they shouldn't reach that low. It's really loud for being just one toad, making a gwap sound, rather than the normal croak. Gwap, gwap, gwap. Although it's poisonous, hearing its cry in a safe place like this makes me think of it as cute. Even though I think that, I can't be careless. A plopping sound resonates once more. The toad cries out, going from a death rattle-like sound to thin breathing, then finally a pause. It soon resumes with an even lower voice than before. What? Take a look where the toad was. It's nothing less than ghastly. The toad has been crushed by another frog that has fallen from the ceiling. Its four legs are widespread, the internal organs leaking from its abdomen due to the fall. But that isn't all. The second frog has the white striped pattern characteristics of a certain type, but I don't know its name. When the other frog fell on the giant toad, it stimulated the gland, so naturally poison leaked down. At the edge of its right foot, its toes have begun melting. Melting? No way. Frog's poison is an acid. It paralyzes or acts as a neurotoxin. If it gets in your eyes, you can lose your eyesight, but basically it's for catching prey by poisoning it to death. The poison is different. This poison is different and more brutal. However, the second frog is even more menacing. As if taking vengeance for the right leg it lost to the poison, it secretes its own venom. The toad's corpse puts up no resistance, its body steadily melting away. I pinch my nose at the mixed stench of the dead body and the acid. Even as my spine grows cold, the room steadily becomes humid, most likely due to the breath of the living creatures in the room. The sight of the frog melting away from the poison is enough to cause bile to rise up in me for a moment. There's no way I can look away from it, beyond the fact that I don't know what's going to happen next. I have to pay attention as I head for the exit. I look up at the ceiling, but there's no sign that I'm being followed by any frogs. It's as if they fell from nowhere. If one falls in me, it means this place isn't safe anymore. I speed up as I head for the exit. The reason I didn't break into a full run is because I know I might trip or fall at a time like this. You do have a habit of tripping and falling, yeah. A nearby sound fills me with fear and despair. Frogs fall right in front of me, 3, 4, it becomes difficult to count them. Just as I panic and attempt to turn back, I hear noises from behind me. Croak, what? They begin to speak in unison. The frogs are actually singing in a round, but I hate that they sound so joyful. Hearing the frogs croak on either side of me leaves me with nothing but fear. If I step on one of them, the poison will probably dissolve my foot. That being said, there isn't enough room to leap over them, and if I do, one of them may jump up and touch me. As if preparing to attack me while I'm off guard, their numbers increase even further. Crowded into such a small space, they're melting each other's bodies with their poison. I avert my eyes from the damaged frogs. As the danger increases, it's not a tragedy, I can continue to watch. As the amount of bodily fluid on the floor increases, the frogs who step in the puddles of poison have their toes melted off. Then they secrete their own fluids and the cycle repeats. On top of that, there are those whose bodies are melted by their own poison as well. Somehow suppressing whatever is welling up inside of me, I finalise my plan. Over here. I pull some merchandise off the shelf with my hand and make some space. The original two is still left, but it's better than being surrounded. I step out onto the floor and leave the shelf. To keep them from reproducing anymore. Quickly. No. As if they'd been lying in wait, numerous frogs fall from every which way. They are small creatures with shrill voices, red and yellow and green and striped and varied. The intense amount of colour saturation is making me feel sick. I know this variety of frog well. Among poisonous frogs, it is the most infamous type. A poison dart frog. Even under normal circumstances, it carries deadly poison stronger than that used in blow darts. If the strength of the poison has been taken to intense levels like the other creatures here, it could probably instantaneously melt even my bones. What should I... There's still a distance between the door and I, 3 steps. No matter what, I can't take those 3 steps. There is nowhere for my feet to land. The floor is covered in the squishy bodies of the frogs and their acidic poisonous fluids, as well as the corpses of those frogs that have melted themselves. Not knowing where they're coming from, there's nothing I can do. Even the sweat falling from my forehead seems like venom to me, as if some kind of illusion. Shh. I don't want to see it, as if nothing else can be done, but... You're slow. The light suddenly shines through the darkness. The soft breeze blowing in through the crack returns me to my senses. Cover your eyes. What are you doing, you crazy bastard? Immediately after saying this, the girl pulls the pin from the fire extinguisher she's holding. The entire inside of the souvenir shop is filled with the smoke from the fire extinguisher. A fire extinguisher? But now we can't jump over the frogs. We couldn't do that anyway. I can see what's going on. This isn't all. Almost in sync with the girl's words, the sprinklers activate. A large amount of water immediately sprays us, an amount greater than the strongest rain striking my body. When I open my eyes, the girl reaches out her hand with a firm expression. While the water's running, even if you get hit with a little venom, it'll wash right off. Don't be afraid. Just run for it. If you fall, you'll die. The floor is soaked, I might slip. Don't slip then. At that moment, I falter and... I have never seen someone as clumsy as you. Jesus Christ, it's not that hard. Just run straight through. Got it. I have no time for doubt. I run for it. I run for it through the rain from the sprinklers. I try to run without looking at my feet. The sensation of squishing the slippery meat continues. The liquid that gets scattered about with a squirting sound is washed off in the rain. Just 3 steps. It's just a moment. Trip, fall, die. I wouldn't have been surprised. Idiot. With one last step, I stumble. The girl grabs me with her extended hand and pulls me out. I collapse, but it's outside the souvenir shop. The door is already closed. There are no frogs anywhere. Thank you. But it's already been more than 5 minutes, so why... As I catch my breath, I express my thanks to the girl. I just remembered that I owe you a debt. You are kind. I might have misjudged you a bit. You didn't misjudge me. If you'd hesitated any further, I would have closed the door. But you believed in me, right? That I could do it. You're gonna drive me nuts, so stop it with that stuff. Expressionlessly, the girl says this in a flat tone. Holding on to this gentle feeling, I prepare to move on. Speaking honestly, I want to rest here like this. My clothes are soaked, and I've used up a lot of my strength. However, it feels like if I were to really relax, I might never get up again. If I don't keep up my momentum, I can't save Himeno. I'm able to gain some relief from resting against the wall. The girl who rescued me seems to be resting just like I am. Huh? This gacha is... As we're resting against the wall, I realize that this type of gacha situated in front of the souvenir shop have changed. How ironic. 5 years ago. What do you mean? You said it yourself, that your sister went missing 5 years ago. You remembered? Of course. Inside the gacha machines, there are many keychains. They all have charms with various creatures attached to the droplets. The link between Marty and I, and now the item of my memories that links Himeno and I as well. My little sister, her name is Marty. I didn't ask. You see, 5 years ago we had an argument over keychains. Marty wanted the jellyfish one, but I wouldn't trade with her. She disappeared, sulking. Still didn't ask. I have this one. I take the keychain that I received from Himeno out of my pocket. It's the one with the starfish attached to the droplet. Huh? As I hold it out to the girl, I realize there's something attached to the back. A picture printed on a sticker. It's a pretty old sticker at that, a small girl and a man embracing her. The two of them are smiling and seem to have a lot of fun. The man, who's wearing a suit and seems quite serious, is probably her father. The words Manten Aquarium run along the picture's border. The souvenir shop had a sticker photo booth. So I'm sure that they took this picture here. More than anything else, I'm disturbed by the fact that the girl in the picture looks like Marty. It also looks like the girl we're standing next to. It's not just her face, but her long hair and that smile too. As her big sister, the girl seems like she could be Marty's twin. Hey, that's... Pointing to the keychain, the girl speaks. My consciousness is yanked back from my memories. What is it? I asked the girl if she shows interest in the keychain, but I received no response. Your averted eyes tell me nothing. Your little sister, she went missing here, right? Huh? Yeah. The girl suddenly changes the subject back, leaving me a bit flustered. She doesn't press any further with questions. It's the same with my dad. Huh? But in my case, I know he's dead rather than missing, so it's different. I know he was murdered. Your father was murdered? I can't grasp the detached way that the girl is speaking. She's talking about her own family member, but the girl is completely apathetic. She has the calm of someone reading a newspaper article aloud. Well, I'm going now. But I haven't heard all the girl's story yet, and if things get like they were before, it'd be better if there were two of us. The words won't come out right, but the state of panic I'm in should be enough to express what I want to say. However, the girl stands her ground to the end. When I'm with you, you hold me back. Hold you back? What do you mean? If dying is what it takes for me to learn the truth, then that's fine. You can never resolve yourself to that. Fine? With you dying? You can't let yourself die. Shut up. Shut up. You're awful. You have that friend Himeno, right? If you die, what happens to her? I have no idea whether or not this is their way of trying to encourage me. However, I understand what she's trying to say. She's trying to say that each of us is on our own. Let's become friends. That way you can't say so easily that you're fine with dying, right? That part of you is exactly what I mean when I said you hold me back. Without answering my question, the girl pushes me away. Swiftly turning her back on me, the girl walks on ahead. What should I have done? I stay where I am until the girl's back becomes so small I can no longer see it. I pass in front of the souvenir shop, then end up standing in front of the door to the jellyfish booth. I wonder if the girl is already gone. If she ended up in a safe place, she's probably already passed through it. If nothing happens, it takes less than a minute to pass through the jellyfish booth. If by any chance she's still there, we'll surely just meet in passing. The girl is determined to take a different path than I. I wonder what will happen to me. I may return to a point before the glass tank ruptured, or I may end up in the jellyfish booth sometime after the glass tank ruptured. I'll never know if I don't try going in. I become cautious. Slowly I open the door. And? Huh? At that moment the air becomes shaky. Okay. What is this? It's different. The field of view before me becomes red and the air becomes so cold it could freeze. This is no longer a matter of dimensions, of wondering what time period this is. Something is different. This jellyfish booth is distinctly in a different place from the aquarium. All the water in the tanks, it's red. In the jellyfish booth, I know that transparent jellyfish are illuminated by various colours of lighting. The reds and purples are usually a pretty sight, but this place is different. All of the pillar-shaped tanks are bright red. It's a repulsive sight, as if all the water has been replaced with blood. I have to go. A bit confused, I take a step forward. Despite the fact that the floor at my feet should be solid, I stagger. My sense of equilibrium is off. You are clumsy as fuck, you always have been. I proceed 1, then 2 steps. At that point I start to feel like I might fall. Even so, I head further inside. If I can pass through another door, I should be able to escape this bizarre phenomena. No matter what, I have to hurry. Suddenly I stumble and place my hand on a pillar tank. The temperature of the tank is slightly warmer than that of the cold air. Huh? Just as I'm about to move forward to use the tanks to support myself, I peer into the red water. Where there should be jellyfish floating about, there is something completely different. No! I'm unable to stop the scream that bursts from my mouth. An unbelievable sight stops me in my tracks. Can't have expected that. A face! A face! Ah! Human faces float about. Whatever is below the neck appears as if it's been assimilated into the blood, blending in with the contents of the tank. It isn't just one of them. Just as with the previous jellyfish booth, there are more and more and more. I wobble and break away from the tank, landing on my backside. I don't know whose face this is. It's not as if it would be someone I know. But no matter which face it is, they all seem to be staring at me, here in the heart of the jellyfish booth. Taking a step back, I see that all the tanks have human faces floating inside them. They have some differences, such as some faces being blank, some have their eyes bulging open, and some have bloodshot eyes, but they are all looking at me. What is this? That face over there, his nose is twitching. This face's lips are trembling, and way over there, that one has a crease in its brow. But My heart beats faster. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. In rhythm with my heartbeat, I experience a hallucination from the faces in the tank. The faces in the tanks are drawing closer. No, this is... What? No, it isn't a hallucination. I'm certain that all those faces are getting closer to me. The fact that they're getting larger serves as proof. The boundary between the tanks and the air is gradually being removed. This room is becoming all water. The faces are swimming in water, drawing closer to me. As the faces draw closer, the sound within the water grows louder. Rather than someone's laughing voice, it is the sound of someone sobbing that grows louder instead. Either way, it's the same to me, wearing away at my mental state. Stop it! A voice unfamiliar to me is sneering at me. Little by little, these unfamiliar faces are closing in on me. Before I realize that my feet can no longer confirm whether the floor is there or not. I have to go. So I put all my strength into my knees. I've already learned that time is of the essence. I have to take some sort of action. Should I use force? Should I steady myself to move easier? If distance is the issue, then the way I came is just a bit closer. I wrap the episode up because we're out of time. For today, that is what we're going to do. We're just going to leave her sitting here with the heads until tomorrow. I'm sure she'll be fine. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for getting out, and I'll see you in the next one.